What if control is the very thing blocking your breakthrough? What if the moment you stopped gripping so hard, life finally delivers what you've been begging for? We've been trained to chase, to plan, to push. But true creation doesn't come from control. It comes from alignment. So today we're diving into Law 5 of Field and Form, alignment over control. Surrender is the strategy. And if you're tired of hustling for peace, this one's going to hit home. Welcome, welcome. My name is Dawn Elgin, and I am your contrarian soul guide, and I am so excited to be here with you today. Today, we are talking about something that has been life-changing for me, and that is letting go of my control freak tendency ways and learning how to surrender. So I am on year 7 of a surrender experiment of letting go more and more. And every year I've thought, oh yeah, I nailed this, nailed it. And I'm like, wow, I am still super controlling. And so here is your invitation to join the journey. You see, our ego loves to control because control feels like safety. But the soul knows that safety isn't found in the grip. It's found in the flow. Control says, I'll be happy when, whereas alignment whispers, you're already in it. Relax and listen. And this is really the heart of the Aligned Human Project, learning to trust the field that's always conspiring to meet you. Science calls it adaptability, whereas spirit calls it surrender. I call it remembering your design. When you surrender, you stop resisting the natural intelligence of life. Here's the part that nobody really thinks about. I have a lot of people that come into my office and we talk about control. And they mostly believe they're not control freaks. But the truth is control is a trauma response. And that's not just big T trauma, that's small t traumas as well. And so think about it this way. You might think like, why is it that you need to control everything to do with your children? Why do we need to control everything to do with our spouse or our work? Well, we think it's because we are, we want to be the best thing or how it makes us look, but we don't really consider what's underneath it. And so in coaching, we had trained to ask a lot of questions. And one of the things that we start doing is, and then what happens? And then what happens? So you give up control of telling your children how they need to parent their kids or live their lives or invest their money. And then what happens? And we go through this all the way to the very end. And the reason why people are constantly trying to control when we get all the way underneath it is fear. It always comes back down to safety and security, sense of belonging and being loved. And so often we try to control our kids because it is, how does that look for me? And it's sadly just the truth of the matter. My kid used to have to constantly remind me when he was talking to me, this isn't about you. What I'm going through is about me. And so it was a beautiful gift when he gave it to me when he was in his teens, because then as we grew together, I was like, you know what? I can feel myself becoming emotionally involved in taking your experience personally. So I need to take a couple of seconds and step back. And it was a gift. The moment that it started with him, I got to extend that to all different areas of my life. Now, sometimes I'm great at it, and sometimes it's a lot harder. And we just notice. So when we have those controlling, gripping moments, then the question becomes, okay, where did I grip today? Where am I controlling today? Often we think that we're too busy to do things like journaling or to do some work of looking back over our day and contemplating on how it went. But it's important. It's actually vital if we want to grow. Because it's when we make these conscious decisions. So one of the questions I put out to clients all the time is, who do you choose to be today? And I have them put it on a sticky note, preferably something bright, like a bright fluorescent pink sticky note, right in the middle of their mirror, so that they see the question every morning while they're brushing their teeth. And they have those, up to 2 minutes to sit there and contemplate, who do I choose to be today? And if one of the things that we're choosing to move through, such as I did, which is letting go of control, I recognized I had a problem. Being a control freak was blatantly impacting my ability to heal my head injury, even though from a nervous system point of view, I was trying to control to keep myself protected and feeling safe because I had a fear of myself in this world around me. But my control tendencies came much before that. And so when I started to look all the way back through it, talked to my doctors, and I was like, do I have PTSD? And I remember the doctor laughed at me and was like, absolutely, you have complex PTSD. And I asked her because I'd read the symptoms of PTSD, which I didn't know. I thought it was when you just had nightmares and had flashbacks. And when I looked at all the symptoms, I realized that was me. I had OCD tendencies about certain things, especially things that organized. My spices to this day are still alphabetized in the drawer. My books, my movies, they all used to have to be alphabetized. And it was a way to control something that was within my control in a world that felt like it was way out of control. And I say this too because often we're trying to control and we're trying to do these things to keep us safe, not realizing that what they're actually doing is undermining our ability to be safe in this world. The simple fact is we have no idea what's going to happen. We have no idea what's going to happen 5 minutes from now. And our nervous system, our ego, dislikes that. So we try to control things to make sure that the outcomes make us comfortable. But see, safety and security are supposed to come from inside. And most of us have been trained since we were small children to look for those things outside of ourselves. We look at them from our families, from our friends, from the organizations that we're part of, and we go outside of ourselves to get something that's intrinsically within us. And so when we start letting go, we start to explore our own resiliency. And it's our resiliency that gives us the ultimate sense of safety and security. And resiliency only is created through difficulty. And so what's fascinating is it is the difficulties that we've gone through in life that help build our resiliency. And yet we're trying to control to make sure we don't have any difficulties. We want everything to just unfold lovely. But if everything were sunshine and rainbows all the time, we wouldn't be very resilient and we wouldn't be really great at adapting. And that's our superpower. That's what makes us human. And the laws of co-creation, what I refer to as field and form, help us understand what's going on and how to change the behaviors that we've adapted to. And so instead of being an A-type control freak personality, and I wouldn't say I was a controlling personality, I was definitely a control freak personality, and working through, I continuously call myself a recovering, because there's moments I'm not as good as I wish I was. And so the laws help us understand why controlling is actually harming us and why surrendering actually helps us. And so one thing I'm going to say, and you maybe have heard me talk about it before, is our soul, our spirit, is an entity of only present time. That's it. So it lives only in the eternal now. So as long as I'm completely present and I'm only here doing this work right now with you, then I'm in flow. I'm in alignment. Myself, my soul, we are here. And that's because I'm aligned with my values. I'm aligned with my own projects. I'm aligned with everything that is right for me in spirit. And because I'm aligned with that, I'm bringing that into form. And I'm only here in the present time. If I start bringing in my past memories and I start bringing those pieces into this journey, then I can start to come out of alignment. And so because our soul, our spirit, isn't an entity of past or future. And so the future, as we try to prepare for it in our control tendencies, are all illusions. And the interesting thing is we can only prepare what we've already experienced. And that's what it means to bring our past into our future. And so the more that we can work on being completely present in this moment, and we're in attunement, in alignment with our values, understanding that your values will shift and mature and evolve as you do. But if we come into alignment with our current values and we're staying present in this particular moment, not getting pushed and pulled by the past, not getting pushed and pulled by fears of the unknown of the future, but just being here in this moment, then we're coming into this state of pure alignment. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And this is why I say it's remembering your design, because this is our natural state. When you surrender, when you stop resisting the natural intelligence of life that we are here in this moment, you stop fighting the current and you realize you're the river. And how much more powerful is that? Now, let's chat about 3 other laws that really help support this, knowing that all 12 of them come together and flow. But conscious creation is constant. You're always creating, even through resistance. So when you refuse to let go, that resistance becomes the creation itself. Tension, fatigue, chaos. And surrender clears the static so creation can flow cleanly through you. That's our birthright. Law 7 is cycles, spirals, and seasons. So everything has its timing. Surrender is trusting that winter isn't failure, it's gestation. Just because it's not blooming doesn't mean it's not growing. And that is vitally important to remember. And then there's Law 12. Grace and guidance are cofactors. You are not meant to do this journey alone. The field meets you halfway, but it can't flow through clenched fists. So grace rushes in when we finally stop trying to outthink the divine. So how do we bring this into practical application, everyday integration? Well, one of the easiest ways is to pause. So just take a moment right now, take a nice slow breath in, exhale through your mouth with a gentle sigh, and imagine releasing one thing that you've been gripping too tightly. And then say out loud, I trust what's unfolding even when I can't see the map. It's not passive. It's power in motion. You see, 12 years ago, I started asking a question. Why do some people heal and some people don't? And I started to search out for my truth, not within a single religion or spirituality or belief system, but through them all. And I started to really research mysticism and science, trying to understand that answer, trying to find that answer of why do some people heal and some people don't. And it started as an emotional piece of going through emotional trauma and physical trauma. And then it became going through a brain injury. Why do some people spontaneously heal and some people never do? And when it came down to it, the answer really was safety. So in all of my studies, after 12 years, I came to understand that there are 12 laws that thread through all of science and all of mysticism. I've shared them before in my podcast and here as well. You can also go to my website and read them. But it became this basis of all of my work. Everything that I do when I'm coaching people, when I'm teaching, when I'm speaking, when I'm writing, it always comes down to these 12 underlying laws that help us let go, that help us release, to help us come back into alignment, back into presence once again. And then 3 weeks ago, I went to New York and was part of a mastermind, and we were doing women creating movements. One of my coaches has Thought Leader Academy, Miss Sarah Cannell, and this was the topic that we were working on. And so she asked us, what's your movement? And all of a sudden, I had this welling up of energy, and I was like, oh gosh, here comes something. And so for 4 days, I kind of worked through it and brainstormed and broke it apart and built it back up and came with the Aligned Human Project. And I realized that for 12 years, this has been everything that I've been being taught, everything that I've seen by science, by mysticism, is bringing us to this moment. Things that I understood while I was reading the Course in Miracles, or I was reading the Bhagavad Gita, or any of those other studies. And I want to share it with you because this is important. This is the time for us to bring this movement forward. You see, we were never meant to live split in two, chasing success while starving for peace, achieving more and yet feeling less. We came here to remember that our divinity is not earned, it's inherent. That harmony, not hustle, is the true metric of power. That freedom is not a prize, it's our original design. We are the bridge generation, the ones here to integrate science and spirit, to make consciousness practical and spirituality usable, to bring heaven down to earth through everyday embodiment. We are here to end the illusion of separation, to reclaim the divine feminine in all people, the wisdom, the flow, the deep listening, so the divine masculine can finally rise, healed, anchored in truth, not domination. Only through harmony can wholeness return. This is not a philosophy, it's a frequency, a living field of alignment, and it pulses through every thought, word, and choice that brings us closer to coherence. Through practical spiritualism, field and form, the 12 laws of co-creation, we are learning to see the invisible, to create from clarity, to live as light in form. We're not escaping humanity. We're elevating it. We are the leaders, the visionaries, the healers, and the skeptics, those who never fit the old boxes, because we came to build new blueprints. We are aligned humans, whole, sovereign, and free. Aligned in heart, mind, body, and soul. Aligned with the rhythms of the cosmos and the needs of the earth. Aligned with each other, our legacy is simple and sacred. A world where alignment replaces achievement, where harmony heals, where freedom becomes our natural state. This is the evolution of humanity. And this is the rise of the aligned human. You see, surrender isn't about losing control. It's about remembering you are never separate from the current in the first place. You don't need to force flow. You are flow. If this resonated, make sure you subscribe to this channel, Practical Spiritualism, to sharing downloads with Dawn, part of the Aligned Human Project, where we are redesigning success from the inside out. Until next time, pause, feel, and align. Brightest of blessings. You are not broken. You are not too much. You're remembering who you've always been. And this journey is just getting started. If today's episode lit something in you, hit follow so you don't miss what's coming. And if you're feeling it, leave a review. It helps with more soul-led women find this space. Want to go deeper? Come find me on YouTube, Facebook, our private Facebook community, The Awakening Circle, Instagram, TikTok, or at our website, practicalspiritualismco.com, for all the ways we can rise together. Not to worry, all those links are in our show notes. Until next time, stay sovereign, stay bold, and keep that fire lit.